Okay, a quick update. Blue masking tape. This feature wall that we have in the bedroom, we're going to repaint it because we're not happy with the quality of the paint. And then we're going to do a kind of headboard thing for the bed, which I'm going to make. So that's going to be our task. Hopefully just today. Hopefully we get it done in one day. If not, it'll slip into tomorrow. So this was a paint that we got from I can't remember the make of the paint, but I remember that it was Brico Dépôt, and it's one of their kind of the box standard ones that they sell there all the time. That is like a, you know, sells well, comes highly recommended, blah 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 blah. The problem is that it's a matte paint, and like here you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see, it just leaves marks of everything in here, and it's like you know it's. And when I was painting, it took about 3 to 4 coats to get it this color. Now, everywhere else in the house, apart from Natalie's office, we've used a different brand of paint called Liberon, which is really, really good. Everywhere else, it was a bit like strong colors like this as well. And like, for example, the red in our living room, 1 coat, and it was done. And it's kind of a satin finish, really easy to clean. So the lesson here is that one thing, it is worth spending the extra few bob, is paint. It really is. And another thing, blue masking tape. I'm obsessed about this stuff. White masking tape just doesn't do it. Blue somehow, it just seems to work better. I have no idea why. If you know, let me know. I don't know. Here we go. Anyway, today's task. Okay, I'm working on the headboard. I'm actually using quite thick wood for the frame of it, because, you know, one of the things about making things yourself is like, you know, you're not saving the materials the same way than you know, any other company would, any kind of a, you know, IKEA, that, you know, they don't. You can go a bit more overboard with them, if you know what I mean, because it doesn't really cost you that much more. It's just a matter, and pretty much everything I have here is stuff that we had lying around, so it's not a problem to us at all. So yeah, cutting these into pieces first. I'll try to keep you updated a little bit, see how this goes. Okay, without a shadow of doubt, the day gonna run away from me, but I got it done. Well, in all fairness, Natalie, she put her roll up her sleeves, she painted the wall, and she painted all the wood that I cut and assembled. So joint effort, and I think it looks pretty damn good. What do you guys think? Bed rest. I have sockets embedded in there. Yeah, I'm very happy with the results. That'll do for now. You know, songwriting to me, it's changed a lot over the years. I used to think it was about trying to write something, you know, the hit, something that resonates with the whole world. Nowadays it's just, it's become this process of you capturing ideas, and it's like I come into the caravan and I have to just slow down and start to listen to the universe, and these ideas just float around, and you just start capturing them and putting them down on a paper or strumming the guitar and playing with them in your head, and that's when you kind of start to realize that it's you know, your job is not as much of like, ooh, I write songs. No, it's I capture things, and I put them in some sort of order, and I put them out in the world. And yeah, they're my songs until the very moment I release them to the world, and then they take on a completely different meaning again. It's whatever people hears in them that becomes the new meaning of the songs. And it does take on like things of what's going on in your life, and like that's why it's, as a songwriter, you gotta live life. When I was writing Wait for June, I was getting close enough to I was thinking about my birthday coming up, and I always do it around my birthday, take stock. I do it a few times a year, but the birthday is one of those. And the whole concept of how, life is made of moments, a big collection of moments cobbled together that becomes your life. And how much we kind of wait for a particular moment, and while we focus on so much, I wish that day would come, or I wish, wish that day was today, we miss so much more of the stuff. The world around us, it's just covered in beauty and love, and we so much focus on the negative things. We focus on the hate and the anger, and that we forget to love and appreciate the beauty around us. And there comes a day that you realize it's too late to do that. I'm not being morbid about it, but turning 51, it does give you kind of a perspective on the more than likely you are just a little bit on the other side of the the hill. But I'm okay with that, I'm actually glad in a way that, because you get to a point that you start to take those moments in everyday life in a different kind of way. Things happen, and you don't ask like why does this happen to me anymore the same way. Wait for June. There ain't much to talk about until the sun lights up the ground. Silence echoes through the room. Nothing left for us to do. If you try to say it out loud, point to where the truth is found. And if you only wait for June, you miss the spring that's good to you. When the day finally comes around, it ain't sticking around long enough to start something new. You walked the steps and you paved the ground, and still somehow it's so tough when they take you for a fool.